Dating apps is a big platform basically that widens, your opportunities to meet more people. But then notably, relationships are getting shorter. Is it that these apps are training us to treat people as commodities as opposed to future partners?
Well, welcome to Relationship Real Talk with your hosts, Mary
and Julius Eniolu.
On this show, we talk all things relationships, always keeping it real. Now, that's a really interesting question. I want to start off by asking, would you use a dating app? Well, if you weren't married, would you use a dating app?
It's a very hypothetical question. So it's difficult. I'm happily married, but if I wasn't married, I probably would, because I would look at getting a partner differently than I did 30 years ago. Because 30 years ago, I guess you have pen pals and stuff like that. But it is a thing and it's not going anywhere. And it makes it easy, I guess, for you to meet people that you will probably not bump into. So I guess I would say maybe I would.
I really struggle with it.
It's because you're old.
I don't think it's because I'm old. I really struggle with the idea because for me, it seems like I'm going shopping. So when I go on, if I was to go on a dating app, I don't know how they work. I've never been on one, but my guess is you would go on the platform, you put in your details, put in your profile, hoping someone will find you. And then you can go on the platform as well and look for someone. I just feel like it just gives the whole way of finding someone. It makes it too transactional. Yes, that's the word I'm trying. But we want to hear from you. What do you think? Have you used the dating app? Did it work? Funny enough, I know of people who've met through dating apps and they're married. So I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I personally wouldn't use it.
Yeah, it works. So I would tell you why it's not a bad idea at all. It's just that the guardrails that protect people, I don't think they're sufficient, but it's an amazing tool. As a Christian, for example, your pool or your chances of meeting your future partner may be restricted to your local church, your local town, your local sphere. However, with the app, you can meet people in the other side of the world. You can meet people that you would never have stood a chance of bumping into. So it just makes it easy to bump into people. Am I advocating for it? Not necessarily. I'm just stating it the way I state.
I guess if you're ready to relocate and travel to the ends of the earth to go meet this person you just met online and you don't really know, maybe it will work. But for me, like I said, I just think it's too transactional. It's too forced. And it's even if you're a Christian, church is not the only place you meet people. You can go out, you can meet people in the supermarket. I just think there still needs to be that real connection. And it's not just Christians that are using dating apps. Everybody's using dating apps. So for me, I think there's that real problem of people not being sociable enough. We're not actually making effort to make real connections. We have lots of connection points. Phone, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, messaging, all of that, but we're not making real connections.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. I've spoken to people who are dating that even after you've met people, they don't want to talk on the phone. They just want to chat. They just want to the word
for real?
Yeah. No, it's not a rule. It's just an observation that it's just a fact that we all have been reconditioned by technology. Those days of picking up the phone and talking for hours with, a possible partner, it's like those days are gone.
I remember when we were dating.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. We would speak for hours. You would fall asleep with the phone to your ear because you're just talking. Yeah. So I think that is the art or practice that needs to be restored. We would really love to hear from you because obviously this is very topical at the moment. It's real life. A lot of people are going on dating apps to find partners. My question is why though? Why is there such a big need for it now? What changed?
I think we have changed. Humans have changed. If you're looking for the humans that existed 30 years ago, they no longer exist.
I'm here.
What I mean is, even you have changed. The way we think, the way we do things, it was a change that we didn't ask for. It was a change that was forced on us. And we have become that change that was demanded of us because of technology. So because these platforms exist, the question that people are going to ask you is, why can't I use it if it exists?
Yeah, I suppose so. The platforms are there. You can use them. I don't know what you think, but I do think that, yes, relationships are getting shorter.
Yeah.
I do think people are not persevering as much as they used to with relationships. And I'm not even just talking about marriage now. I'm talking about just being in a relationship with someone. And that's why I was saying, I think the dating app is contributing to that because it's making it too transactional. I'm going to the shop. I'm going to pick up a bottle of wine or whatever. I don't like it. I'm going to chuck in the bin. I'm going to go get another bottle of wine. So with that mentality, consciously or unconsciously, when the relationship is not working out, it's very easy, I think, to just give up and say, well, there are many more fishes in the buses. I'll go back on the dating app, go find somebody else.
Yeah. Some feedbacks that I've received from people, especially men that are dating, is it's a fundamental fact. It's an actual statistical fact. You've got more women in the market than men.
Don't use market. See, this is the thing I'm talking about. It's not a market.
Okay.
It's not a market. We're not on the market. We're not in the market. So then what? And we're in the world. And yes, yeah, you're right. There are more women in the world than men. That is absolutely true, which even reinforces this conditioning, especially for the males, to feel like, well, I went to that app, I didn't see the person I wanted, or I thought they were going to be this way or that way, they're not, so I'm just going to go find me somebody else. But real relationships are built on something that is more substantial than my imagined ideal.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the challenges going to a dating app. So you're looking at the person's profile, they're short, that thing, right? They don't qualify, so
basically what you're trying to say is that, even though you know what you want, but to go into a lasting, meaningful relationship, it requires time and proximity to be able to engage with each other, not just on the visual basis of too short, too light, too fat.
On the descriptions of maybe their skills, their habits, or whatever it is they put on that platform, whatever information they put. Yeah. Because sometimes you might meet someone and they may not fit your normal idea of your own ideals even, but then that's just this chemistry.
I get you.
Exactly.
I get you, but see, that when I say we all have changed, that's what I'm saying. We don't really hear people say we live in a sight and sound world. People they see you, they just put you in a box. Too dark, too short, too quiet. And that's the end of it.
I see, dating apps even removes the sight and sound. There is no sight, there is no sound.
So what I mean is we have been conditioned that way anyway. So when you go to dating apps, 35 too old.
There you go. So that is the real problem. But we really want to hear from you guys, because it's serious. It affects everyday lives. And relationships are so important. You can't be fickle with it. We can't just go with what is, appears to be the right description. It's so important. And now we're finding ourselves in a position where relationships are getting shorter and shorter. People are getting frustrated. I think it's really important we address this topic. So if you're listening to us, let us hear your views. We want to hear from you. Have you used the dating app? How did you find it? Do you think that is the way forward?
Yeah.
Do you just think, no, not for me? Did you try? Did you get burned? We would really love to hear from you.
Yeah, I feel, that there is the need for the opportunity for people to meet, whether a physical meeting or a virtual meeting, whatever. And especially for Christians, because, there are Christian dating apps, but they're just a few, there are not many of them. And even those ones that exist, the guardrails, meaning the controls, hardly exist.
What sort of controls would you be looking for?
And I can give you an idea. For example, so somebody says, I'm Christian and I want to sign up onto this platform. I'm looking for a Christian partner. How do you ascertain that person is a Christian?
You can't.
Well, I think what's in my mind will be harder to implement and very expensive, but you can if you really want to.
How would you do it?
So it would be almost like you're applying for the loan. I'll get reference from the pastor.
You can't get a reference from anybody. That's what I mean. You cannot, there's just no way you can set it up in a way that you can actually screen and verify and vouch for the people that go.
It may not be 100%, but at least you can eliminate some wolves that dress up in sheep's
I
clothing.
really don't think so, I really don't think so, because if I'm a wolf looking for sheep, I'm going to know how to go about it to make myself look like sheep.
Yeah.
I can just get somebody to say, are you now going to call the pastor and say, did you? It's just too much. Even in real life, let's face it, people come into church, so sticking with the Christian circles, people come into church and pretend to be Christians. In person, they can do that, much less on an app.
I know. 'Cause I've heard, I'm not saying I'm passionate about it, but I'm just mindful. Well, I guess as a pastor, you have to be, how do you serve your people? I've spoken to, especially single women. You meet people on this platform and you just assume they're Christians, and then they're having sinful demands and stuff of you. Like, I thought you were supposed to be a Christian, It's quite painful.
So going back to the original question, is it causing us to treat people like commodity? I would say, for me personally, I would say the answer is yes.
I wouldn't disagree with you.
Yeah, I think it is. And something else it's doing, you see, we're intuitive beings. We're engineered that way, have just what they call sixth sense.
The inner self.
The inner self. And as a believer or Christian, even more so, you have the Holy Spirit. So you have the Holy Spirit leading and guiding you. And yes, the Holy Spirit can still lead and guide you if you go on an app and you can find somebody. But that initial interaction, for me, I think is so important.
Yeah.
And I think maybe moving towards what the challenge or problem you were highlighting, finding ways to address that might serve people better. I know of people who used to arrange hangouts for young people in London, especially. I mean, we're based in Kent in the United Kingdom. I don't know where you're watching. Actually, tell us where you're watching us from. Where are you joining us from? Drop your country in the comments. And neck of the woods, as they say, there were people who used to run things like that. So maybe going out of our way and putting effort into arranging socials for people to actually meet, that might be a good thing. We will never do without the app. The apps will always be there, but increasing proximity and opportunity to meet in person, that they will help us.
They're talking about our neck of the wood. Actually, I remember maybe about 3-4 weeks ago, a lady that who used to come to our church, put together a handout for young people in Maidstone. So we need more of that around the world, where people just meet up. And especially, I'm very particular about Christians and Christianity. So especially to give them an environment where people, relax a little bit, chill out, and meet with each other, as opposed to the restricted virtual environment. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're going to bring this to a close now, but just what I would say, if you use a dating app, because we're not saying dating app is a no-no. I personally wouldn't use it. I know lots of people use it, and we're not saying don't use it. Or maybe change your approach, change your perspective when you're going on it, right? Don't have a shopping list and say, they don't meet this, that's it. And if you do find someone that you strike up a relationship with, understand that relationships take time. The fact that you found them on a dating app doesn't mean they're going to come signed, sealed, and delivered exactly in the way that you want it. And I think that's the mindset that is causing the relationships to get shorter.
Yeah.
Whether it's on an app, you meet the person, or in person, you meet them, relationships take time. Work at it. Absolutely. And that is key.
Absolutely. So like my wife said, if you've used it and it's benefited you, we want to hear about it. If you've used it and you got burnt, we want to, if you don't mind, share your story with us. And if you're there and you identify gaps that exist in the dating apps, because like we said, they're not going away, we would like to know, because you never know. We may just put together a dating apps.
That might be a business opportunity as well. We're always looking for gaps in the market, isn't it? So if you've seen a gap, maybe you've been thinking, why don't dating apps do this? Or why don't dating apps do that? That's a gap there that maybe you're designed to fill. Who knows? So we're not only relationship coaches, we're business coaches. We're giving you opportunity to create a business there. But we hope you found the conversation interesting. We hope you found it useful, because we wanted to bring a topic that is actually top of mind right now.
Yeah.
It's affecting lots of people.
Yeah.
But we want to hear from you. If you haven't subscribed, you really need to subscribe. If you haven't got our book, you need to get our book. The first chapter of the book talks about finding the right person,
Yes.
isn't it? So you really do want to read that book. But until next time, this has been Mary and
Julius and Anna.
your Relationship Real Talk hosts. On this show, we talk all things relationship, always
Keeping it real.